Hello everybody, you and me start our career as freshers, as developers, coders or business analysts or somewhere, and we would definitely like to become that leader one day. There are a few leaders that we know, that we aspire, that we actually admire and we want to become like them, but unfortunately we can't get the required time from those leaders. In this video, I want to talk about 2 to 3 things that you should be doing so that you can progress in your career and get to that leadership role. It might take a few years, but realize that you can only get there if you start. And if you start today, it might take 10 years. And if you start next year, it will definitely take 10 years from then. So do get started on these things and on becoming that leader. Well, if you say that, hey, I am really not interested in becoming a leader and I want to be an individual contributor forever, absolutely fine. You still doing these things will help improve your overall corporate personality itself. So let's get started with the first point, which is thinking about a bigger perspective right from day one. Now, when we are assigned a ticket, we go ahead, work on that ticket and get it done in the next 2 weeks sprint. That's it. But we don't think about why is that important issue, why our solution makes sense. For example, if you are integrating a video component on a web page, why is there that video component actually to start with? Why not that video component is present somewhere else? What is a better add-on for that video component? Now, understanding these things will help you gain that bigger picture, and it helps you think about how you can improve your solution and why your solution is actually important at the first place. This bigger picture will help you understand the bigger business problem. Now, I'm not saying to understand this bigger picture, you need to go ahead and talk to your CEO or some other leaders in the company. Just yourself having that curiosity to think about that bigger picture is a great starting point. And then you can slowly start thinking about how are some of the competitors of your client doing the same thing. Well, this benefits the client, this benefits your company, but don't forget, this benefits you as well in the long run. And all of this starts with not just focusing on your immediate delivery. Moving on, what can be the second thing which can help you become a great leader? This has to do with your ability to go above and beyond solving those technical problems themselves. Now, a lot of people probably within your team will have doubts around a specific technical problem, and somebody will say, I will look into it. And what does that mean? When somebody says, I will look into it, it means that
I won't look into it, or I don't have time, or you go reach out to somebody else.
Now, there are two sides to the same coin here. That is, if you really look into it, it helps the other person and you become slowly the go-to problem solver in that entire team. And also, you for yourself understand what are all the potential problems and solutions in that technical space. For you to become a people leader, the first step is to actually understand a lot of things within your technology space. Don't be in that myth that, hey, I will become a great people leader without not learning or becoming an expert in my own technical skill area. It just doesn't work. And right today, in this day and age, more than the people leaders, it's the functional leaders who are in great demand. So if you know something, please do not ignore that. Develop and work on top of that. The third thing that can help you become a great leader is actually building that emotional intelligence. Now, what does emotional intelligence mean? It's not you going and consoling somebody when somebody is crying. Well, we don't see, and I hope we never see these kind of situations in our corporate careers. But emotional intelligence for me in these scenarios is anticipating if somebody else is facing a problem, and also anticipating what are some of the other questions that others will have when you propose a solution, or when you propose a technology, or when you propose a new thing in your team. Understanding these questions beforehand will help you integrate those pointers when you communicate right from the start. And that is helpful because people will believe that, hey, yes, this guy is actually thinking about a lot of these kind of FAQs. There is a reason why FAQs exist in every single web page or in every single website right at the bottom. They anticipate a few questions of the users and try to address them then and there itself. If you can do it to your manager, to your juniors, there is nothing like that. Managers, for example, have to solve a lot of problems throughout their days. And if there is a junior who is anticipating the problem and also anticipating the right solution for that, takes away a lot of heart attacks for the managers. So managers love people who identify, anticipate the problem and also come up with a solution. And this is a hallmark of a great leader, expecting what will happen next. And this comes, I agree, with experience. But again, you have to start thinking along those lines. The fourth and the most important thing is to make sure that you are actually spending the right amount of time. You allocating a few hours every single day so that you grow as a leader. Leadership doesn't happen to you naturally. This is not like, hey, you are a born leader. Majority of us are not born leaders. We have to develop and we have to cultivate some of those aspects. And what do these aspects start with? In my opinion, the first thing is being honest with ourselves. When somebody asks us a question and we have to respond, being honest helps us because people will identify our personality. And identifying the personality might sometimes be a negative thing, but most of the times it is positive because you will know if that situation is right for you and if that organization itself is right or wrong for you. So do not hesitate from expressing yourself and take out that time to focus and to learn on how you can develop yourself as a leader. It could start with attending a leadership program, or it could start with taking a Coursera on how to become a technical leader or a functional leader. There are multiple ways for you to get started, and simple things like these will actually help you get started. Again, this is all trial and error. There is no one size fits all solution. So you will make mistakes when you get started. And again, you will continue to make mistakes whenever you get started. So please do get started on your leadership journey and do let me know what are some of the best traits that you have observed in different leaders that you have encountered in your career. Do mention them in the comments box. And I would love to know what constitutes a great leader according to you. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you again in the next one. Bye-bye.